Welcome to Friday Fandemonium on January 12th of the year 2024. Interesting how my camera just all of a sudden became sharper in the middle of me talking. Maybe realize I was here. So, what I don't have any unboxings for today of my, what I expected to be of this week because the timing was those sharp discs I opened last week. So that would have been today's little unboxing. That being said, what so today I'm gonna do a little comic browsing. I want to order some more comic books. I'm trying to, get into it. So let's get right into that. Present, share screen, window. Okay. So this is Things from Another World Comics, the main place I get my comics from. And I was browsing, so trying to find something that looks interesting. I don't buy Marvel or DC crap. Let's this particular comic, Tear Us Apart, looked interesting. And this deep in the Canadian wilderness, a vicious cult dedicated to an ideology of pain trains children to become deadly assassins. In the midst of this world of cruelty, two teenagers break the cardinal rule by falling in love. And within a standing between them and happily after is an army of murderers with a taste for blood. So the names don't look familiar, but this is Dark Horse. The cover art looks interesting. This is the plot basically from the movie Ninja Assassin. So I'm gonna grab it's have basically $2 off. I'm gonna pick the add to my cart. Well, Borealis #1 and Destiny Gate #1. So I got a couple and Conan the Barbarian. The one issue I'm missing always here is the one, the fourth printing. I'm gonna grab that. Let's go back here. So I figure I like to get about 5 to 10 comics when I do an order like this. I thought about this Mortal Terror, but I didn't. Yeah. This is the Dark Horse catalog at Things from Another World. The Book of Evil trade paperback. Vampires of the Omnibus, Book 6. Helsing Ultimate. Yeah, I have all these. I have all the Helsings in original. Any comics you got? Hey, Jacob, how you doing, buddy? Any comics? Jacob Ironson has joined us. I do a lot of I do a lot of shows with him lately. We just did Tuesday night. We talked about a movie called The Light Horseman, which is a World War One film, Australian World War One film. This weekend we'll be on our favorite westerns on Saturday night at around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next Tuesday is my brain, Lawrence of Arabia. All in one sitting, so there'll be no bathroom breaks for anyone. Yeah, Jake, I'm just going over. So I don't have any unboxings. I'm going over. I want to go over my comic book. Try to order a couple online before we give people those time to show up. Now, a cover like this. This is a hard cover. This is like a graphic novel of some sort. A cover like this immediately appeals to me, but I'm not looking about graphic novels. I want to buy. I'm looking for some ongoing comic series. Weird Fantasy is an old time comic book. Transplants. I tend to dislike art like this subgenre cover. It's a little too abstract for me. Oh, yeah. Usagi Yojimbo, the samurai rabbit. It's a classic comic character, a manga character, I should say. This was like a ripoff of a Savage Surf Conan cover. Hellboy. I always got the stories for Hellboy. I never got into the art, though. The Midnight Show. Trade paperback. I'll listen to that. Secret Base #1. Captain Momo's Secret Base. Killer Queen Dynamite with a laser beam. Buckaroo Banzai. Okay, let's browse some else besides. Let's go to new releases. And I've already looked at this to some extent. I've already got Exo Man Awards already on my pull list, but I have to get the first couple issues back order. What are we at? We're at 306. Jacob's the only one out there so far. Actually, there's more than Jacob. There's someone else out there, so it's two people. I'll give another minute or two of comic browsing and see if I can find interesting stuff, and then I'll talk about the articles. I wish there was a way to uncheck DC and Marvel. So I just want, even if they look interesting, I won't buy them. I'm already subscribed to Transformers. This Kirkman Transformers universe with Void Jammers, the main title he's writing. Transformers is another secondary title, and then there's two GI Joe series, Duke and Cobra Commander, that are mini series in that universe. So that's exciting so far. Yeah, Tear Us Apart. I mentioned. This is that thing that sounds like it's the plot of the movie Ninja Assassin. So I'm getting Tear Us Apart #1. Let's see if they're all four of them are there. This was you can buy Tear Us Apart. So I have 1 and 4. So I want to read. I'll get #1. Read. If I like it, I'll hunt down 2 and 3. Then I'll grab 4. Okay, so I'm looking at the comics for now. So let's get on to the articles. So first up, we have the Galactica reboot gets a new showrunner. So we got the Sinner creator Derek Simons. His name is awkward to pronounce. Simons has boarded the second reboot of the 1980s sci-fi series Battlestar Galactica as writer, executive producer, and new showrunner. A longtime passion project of Mr. Over creator and Leave the World Behind writer-director Sam Esmail. The series has been in development at NBC Universal streaming Peacock for the past few years, blah, blah, blah. And then the new version is said to be a whole new iteration of the property, not a revival of either previous version, and different in tone to the classic space opera of the first, and faith in the narrative and political drama of the previous reboot. So here's the thing: I love original Battlestar Galactica. I love the miniseries and very first episode of New Battlestar Galactica. In fact, that first episode of New Battlestar Galactica is the singular best television episode of any TV show in history. Kaput. And it was all downhill from there. So it was disrespectful to the original in a highly insulting way. It was, and ultimately it wound up going nowhere because Ronald D. Moore didn't believe in having a series Bible. didn't believe in making consistent technical standards, didn't and just kept dragging you on until he had to end it, and so he came up with a sort of nebulous conclusion about what happened before it's happened again and on Earth, and who cares? Because he destroyed his own project basically. So, and the ratings prove it. As you can see, the ratings for New Battlestar Galactica decline like a rock. That all being said, I'm hoping that this isn't going to be like Mr. Robot with paranoia and craziness all over the place. I liked Mr. Robot for like 3 or 4 episodes. Then when I figured out it was all in his head, so it's pretty obvious apparently. It had to be in his head or it was badly written, right? I was like, oh, I'm not going through this. I'm just not going through this with another TV show where you don't know what's happening because the characters are crazy or they're possessed or they're being played with by beings or whatever. So I'm hoping that this has sort of, if they're not going to do the space opera and they're not going to do the gritty, political, deconstructed, blah, blah, blah of the last one, what else can they do? I mean, action adventure, that's that. Oh, excuse me. I'm so tired. I'm going to take a nap after this. Doctor Who, Ncuti Gatwa, and Millie Gibson already exiting the series. One can only hope so. So, regardless of the woke garbage of this show, Ncuti Gatwa, from what I can tell, is a decently accomplished actor. Yeah, he's done a lot. He's done some of the woke. But then again, I have no problem making shows for people who have that lifestyle targeted for them. That's what that sex education show he is in is, for example. And he also is supposed to from stage. So he's supposedly a decent actor. I'm guessing he's being given. Oh, here we go. Hi, Conroy. How you doing? Yeah, Conroy. I don't know if you caught it, but there are some singular great episodes and some nice space battles in New Battlestar Galactica. Like 33 is hands down the best 1 hour of TV you will ever watch. Right, the first, and I liked how they some of the displayed visual aesthetic of it, and the Adama maneuver and all that. But beyond that, it's just trash. Anyway, so I think these two actors are knowing that they're going to be doing 2 years of ratings garbage, where they're going to be blamed by basically they're going to blame istophobes, right? And they're going to be blamed by their own internal community for not representing properly and not doing the job and getting it all across, right? Yeah, I think they called it Scar. Yeah. Well, I mean, there are a lot of elements. There were a lot of nice elements to the reboot, Conroy. I don't want to lie about that. The human model Cylons were an interesting take on it. The whole they were in the past and not the future. Interesting take. There's a lot of stuff with the stuff that RDM set up in that show. He could have done a lot more interesting stuff. But I really began to see that this was total garbage was with the episode with the Tylium miners. Now, mind you, they have like 50,000 people in that fleet, and their solution is to enslave like 200 Tylium miners to work on the refinery ship without sleeping for days and eating, and not just creating crew rotations. Okay, we'll have these miners work for 2 days hard, and we'll rotate some other guys in there, and they have plenty of people to offset the labor problem. But their solution was basically slavery, and you knew from then on that this was just going to be RDM tearing apart culture, undermining it, and by the end of that first season, the only human who was a good guy was Hilo. I was rooting for the Cylons to kill them all except for Hilo, who would marry Boomer the Cylon and go on to make Cylon human super children for the future. But then even he became like a joke character, I think, by the next season. And a so-called woke show like that literally turned Black Colonel Ty into White Colonel Ty, right? Under their diversity agenda. I don't know. Anyway, So I think Gatwa and Gibson already know this is going to be a bomb, and their contract's up at the end of 2 years, and they're planning on jumping ship. So I think that's what this whole thing is about. Speaking of destroying your own franchise, if you guys didn't catch it on Twitter or other places, but basically they released a picture. Do they have it in here? Yeah. So Paramount released this, and there was someone missing from that. I mean, we had Picard, we had Janeway, we had what's his face from Brave New Worlds. We have Archer back there, Captain Geordi back there, Captain Cisco back there, right? Spock from TOS. But where is Kirk? And well, apparently Kirk, because the word is that because William Shatner is anti-woke and all that, they basically are excluding him from the advertising. And Shatner himself called it out. Do we have the actual tweet? No. Do we? No. Yeah, Shatner goes, all you have to do is look at Paramount Plus graphics to answer that question. And the question talking about is, is he annoyed by it? And he's not, because he knows the fans belong on his, right? Hey, Salty, welcome to the show. Yep, exactly. And if you look here, they don't even have good Picard from Next Generation. They have Picard from the Picard when he's not even human. Remember, Picard, people don't realize this. In the Picard show, he's not even human anymore. He's an android like Data. So he's been dehumanized and turned into an android, and that's the Picard they show on here. Not Picard when he was the strong captain, So it's... And the few morally strong captain, the one morally strong captain left, Cisco, is way in the back there behind everything, right? I'm sure, I mean, if they were going to advertise this right, Kirk should be front and center. Cisco and Picard should be like left and right. Then you have an image of Spock up there, right? And then maybe you get Janeway and Archer in the back tier. And then I'll give Anson Mount credit, who's playing Pike, right? He himself is a good casting choice. His show sucks, okay? So stick him up in the corner somewhere, right? And I'm sure that I guess the other one, the cartoon character, is from that degenerate cartoon that they're making for Star Trek now. And I guess that's what's her face from Discovery, the braided black hair woman there. I don't watch them, but Kirk should be front and center, and Picard should be at his best from Next Generation Picard. So that's garbage there. So on to some happier news. I'm a big fan of the Yellowstone Universal Projects by Taylor Sheridan. By the way, he's also the mayor of Kingstown, and he's also done that Tulsa. The mob film was still, TV show was still in Tulsa, something or other. Anyway, so Yellowstone itself is going to conclude its final season because Kevin Costner is being a dick. But the two, in my view, the best show so far is the one season of 1923. You got a bunch of character actors playing a bunch of great characters, a story that's weaving itself together, and it's slightly better than 1883 because 1882 is very dark, right? And so I'm a fan of this. Of all the Yellowstone that we've seen so far, 1923 season 1 is the best. And there was worry that there wasn't going to be season 2, even though it hung on a cliffhanger, so to speak. But now the actor who plays Spence has confirmed that they're basically doing, I believe, pre-production. Let's take a look here. So 1923 season 2 gets a production from Brandon Sklenar. Sklenar plays Spence Dutton in the Yellowstone prequel, blah, blah, blah. And So, speaking of Fox News, it's going to provide an update on 1923 season 2. Asked if he was filming with his co-stars. Where's the type editor here? Come on, people. You put something on the internet for potentially millions to see. You have a writer and multiple editors, and they can't even put a space in the proper place. Anyway, the actor responds saying, "You're about to start filming. Check us." And he said, I will get a chance to film my co-stars in the last 8 episodes that we're about to start. So presumably that means we could see the season 2 by the end of 2024. And I'm assuming that it was delayed because of the strike. Okay, so that's some good news. All these articles, by the way, are in the description down below, so you can all read the full article. I don't want to read the entire article because I would literally be stealing their copy. Okay, so but I'll give you the highlights and my opinion on it, and then you can read the others if you find it interesting. Here's something that'll be educational to some people. So there's something out there called I'm beginning to call woke derangement syndrome, which is people reacting to everything that happens and presuming that something woke is going on. Okay, so Selena Gomez to play Rolinda Ronstadt in Bioepic. I know some people who don't know better are saying, "Oh my God, they're changing Linda Ronstadt." Linda Ronstadt is Mexican. If people didn't know that, Linda Ronstadt is Mexican. Like 200 years ago, whatever, her great something grandfather, it was a German engineer who went to Mexico to help them build a dam, and fell in love with the tacos, so to speak. No, that's a bad way to say it because that sounds horrible. He fell in love with a local Mexican woman, married her, and the Ronstadts became German Mexicans, and then maybe I want to say like 100 years later, part of them moved to the southern U.S. and the Ronstadts have had world famous musicians, mariachi singers, in their family for since like basically his first generation of kids there. Linda Ronstadt's dad and uncle. Now, our uncle was considered one of the best mariachi singers in the history of Mexico. Her mother's sister, or father's sister. One of them, it's her father's sister because it's in the Rondstadt family, was famous in Europe as a Spanish language singer, and Linda Ronstadt herself I think most people only know her like maybe because she, even though she's still of age to be singing, I think she's my aunt's age. She's like 70 years old now. She came down with, I want to say, Parkinson's disease maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, and it cost her singing voice. So and she can still sing some, but she gets upset because she can't sing a whole concert anymore, and she struggles. But so a lot of modern people might not really remember her. And I'm 50, Salty. I think you're around the same age as me. In our lifetime, she's one of the 10 greatest female singers kaput. No, you can't even argue that. I think most people know her from the song Blue Bayou, right? Uh, but she's done work. She's crossed over. She's been rock music, country music, folk music, um, and Mexican mariachi music. She did an album, Las Canciones de Mi Patria or something like that. The music of my father, and because our father's the one taught her to sing, and she sings in Spanish on it. It was at the time the number one selling Spanish language. Yep, Spanish language mariachi art, and she was considered. The Mexican people named her the greatest mariachi performer of all time. And that's Linda Ronstadt. Um, in our lifetime, she's won 11 Grammys, a whole bunch of American music, country music awards. She's won acting awards. She's acted as well. She's produced like 30 albums or some crazy number of albums. Uh, she's been top 100 like 25 of 35 times. She's famous for performing a crossover with Dolly Parton and Emmylou Harris. She's done it a couple times, a couple different songs. I'm trying to think. Linda Ronstadt. So You're No Good. It Doesn't Matter Anymore. Blue Bayou. Blue Bayou is the song that people know the most for her from. Faithless Love. Hurt So Bad. And then again, she has a whole Spanish language album. The Spanish album was Canciones de Mi Padre, but she did sing a Spanish language song early on, and it's written by her father. His father was Gilberto Rondstadt. So I don't remember the name of it, but she did one early on, and then she eventually got so much clout they let her do the fully Spanish language album, which you can watch on YouTube, by the way. The whole performance you can find. She did not only did she record the album, she recorded like a concert performance of it, right? Yeah, so she's an amazing artist. And so back to what we were talking about, though. So Selena Gomez looks like Linda Ronstadt when she was young. Okay. Now my big concern here, right? So let me get a drink here. And Pepsi Cola. I'm always looking for that Diet Pepsi sponsorship. If you wish to. My big concern is that they're going to ask Selena Gomez to sing Linda Ronstadt songs. Now, I'm not going to disrespect Selena Gomez, okay? She has a pleasant voice. She might have one or two songs I thought were okay. Everyone has a song everyone likes, you know what I mean? But she cannot sing like Linda Ronstadt, okay? And I can't play Linda Ronstadt on my show without getting it, the stream canceled. But she's legitimately, like, if I had to name the 10 greatest female singers in my lifetime, she's certainly top 10, maybe top 5, right? And I mean, well, yeah, she's somewhere between, like, number one is Floor Jansen in my lifetime. Number two is going to be Ella Fitzgerald. Well, there are, I could think of, there are a couple of female, but they're older. Like the ones who could do a good, you know, who could do a good Linda Ronstadt, not impression, but you know what I mean? Like they're older women. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if you find a young, but then again, it's like you were saying, Salty. She could sing rock, and when I say rock, she can do hard rock and blues rock sound, not just like pop rock. She can do blues. She can do country. She did the Mexican Spanish language music. So we'll have to see. And maybe Selena Gomez is a more talented singer than her songs were expressed. But the moral of the story is, those of you, we need to pay attention for our woke derangement syndrome, and pay it. And so I can bet I will bet my bottom dollar that people we know will see this and think they're trying to like wokeify Linda Ronstadt because they don't know better, right? So let's go on to our next topic. Okay. So Star Wars confirms Jon Favreau again. Where is your editor? Okay. Like there's a word missing in here somewhere. Okay. So your Empire, a gigantic site with hundreds of articles posted every month, and you can't type editor. Anyway. So basically, Star Wars is gonna Iger said is gonna force Favreau to fulfill his contract, because what happened is Favreau basically told Disney, I'm done. Okay. I mean, I'm not signing up the new contract. You might as well let Filoni take it over and Kathleen Kennedy, which is what they did. And they were going to he was going to do creator owned ventures, which they couldn't block. But what happened? Apparently, Star Wars has been so badly, even a little under Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy, that Iger wants Favreau back to finish the Mandalorian, so to speak, right? And by the way, if anyone wants to pop on and talk about this stuff with me, just send me a DM basically, and I can add a couple people in here. But what was I saying? So I think Favreau is being forced to do this. I think he has one more. He has to do Mandalorian season 4 under his contract. So I think he's being forced because they think they can force him to do something that will turn Star Wars around. And Joker voice, yeah, I know, salty, right? They have a pronoun editor, but not a grammar editor, right? Oh God, man, why is it so dry all of a sudden? Anyway, so what was I going to say? So I hope Favreau uses this to give him the knife, and you know what that if you know what the Sicilian gesture means, and do something in this movie, like get total control of it, and do something in this movie that screws over the rest of Disney Star Wars in a way they can't stop. On some semi good news, I hate to like say like so. Basically the BBC has been slowly remastering the original Doctor Who early stuff as they try to find all missing episodes and scan them in from the tapes to get Blu-ray out of it. And it looks this basically is for the season 15 collection of which is Tom Baker season. They're filming a scene with Leela during the Time War. So that's what the article is, and it's related to the remastered season 15, which I am not sure if it's out yet. So what's out so far? Tom Baker's season 12 is out. Season 14 is out. Season 18. Let's see season 15 if the pre-order is live yet. So title's not yet been released. It's supposed to do have a date yet. There's no date yet. There's no date yet, unfortunately. So season 15, 17. If you're a fan of the original Doctor, getting them on Blu-ray is worth it, right? Okay, now we go on to a little bit of science. Okay. So when I saw this, East Coast land continues to collapse at a worrying rate. It's steadily sinking or subsiding, which is destabilizing the levees, roads, and airports. Apparently, there's a big study going on with the East Coast, and it's okay. So the way, let's make me bigger. So the way the continents are floating on the magma, the mantle, right? So here's North America and Europe, let's say, and they're floating on the magma, and their edges hit each other, and one of the edges gets subducted under the other one, like this, right? And gradually, that means the continents, which have been originally one big continent, are going to collide, and the land masses will grind against each other, kind of merging and fusing together, right? And then they'll break apart. All that force will cause a rebound, and they'll separate again. So that's what's going on, right? So when I saw this, here's the map of the East Coast. And the line, this land here is the continental shelf that's at the edge of the continent, right? First thing I thought was this is some sort of, I don't want to say clickbait article, but ours technically is a little of a clickbaity site. But I'm pointing out because it's an interesting phenomenon that the East Coast is being subducted underneath. Yep, yeah, that's salty. The East Coast is being subducted, and they did a study to look at the effects of it, right? So it's 2 millimeters per year. It doesn't seem like a lot, but time adds up, and it's it's interesting. I just find it interesting to talk about. I got one more sciencey article. Now, catalytic combo converts CO2 to solid carbon nanofibers. So there's a lot of information in here. So I'm not really going to go like paragraph by paragraph on this one. Actually, I have one more article besides that. I don't know where it went to. It's one you'll be interested in, Salty. But anyway, so they make discoveries like this all the time. The real question with something like this is is it practical, right? Can they turn this CO2 thing into something you can implement every day? And always, they almost always key to making any of this stuff practical, because there's other chemical technologies that will alleviate carbon and other problems, right? Is you need electricity to make it practical. And it comes down to the fact that the only way to make it practical is nuclear power, because there isn't enough electricity otherwise being produced by anything. And so this, even though it's a very fascinating bit of science, it's worth reading. It just keeps running into the face of you don't have the power to do it. Now the last one, Salty, which should have been in this here should have been in the link. Okay, it is. It's in the link below, but it's not in the Okay, so this one should appear. Okay, so an ancient, massive urban complex has been found beneath the Ecuadorian Amazon. So this compound dates to be around. There's a couple of different articles I saw about this. Okay, so this dates back to at least 500 BC. Now, why is this important? Okay, because there is in archaeology. I talked about a month ago about the Indonesian pyramid that might be 20,000 years old, for example, and we've mentioned Göbekli Tepe, the 11,000-year-old town, Stone Age town. There's a I guess you would say a hierarchy in archaeology that that says civilization arose a certain way in a certain time frame, and don't want to acknowledge anything more than about 3,000 or 4,000 BC, and only like Egypt and Mesopotamia, right? They don't even like to acknowledge ancient India, which goes back at least as far, and China to some extent. So as if we keep finding out more, and in North America and South America, they want to say that these people were Stone Age until basically the Middle Ages. So there are articles. They've been using satellites to scan the Amazon, and the Amazon wasn't always fully forested that way. Between, I want to say, 2000 BC and 6000 BC, the Amazon was not a tropical rainforest, but the Sahara Desert was, conversely. And they're using satellite scanning to find all sorts of lost cities and temples in South America. For this particular project, the guy who went and did it, they tried to block him from going there, saying that you'll never find anyone. They tried to cut his funding off, but someone funded him, and he found this ancient temple, which is going to cause them to rewrite the history of North and South America. Just like Göbekli Tepe has forced it to rewrite the history. Yep, that's it, Salty. Just like Göbekli Tepe is forced to rewrite the history of humanity in Europe, which is because Turkey is part of Europe, for those who don't know that, right? And just like the why is my what's that? My brain's locking up again. Just like the pyramid at Gunung Padang in Indonesia, which again they still have to do some hardcore dating on it, right? But they've done scans which suggest it's at least 16,000 years old, potentially 27,000 years old. The structure is. The question is whether it's and it appears to be a man-made structure. So I'm not gonna. They need to do more work on Gunung Padang. Point is, they keep finding these older civilizations, and if one like Göbekli Tepe is, that's an outlier, right? Well, they found a 9,000-year-old city nearby, in fact, if you watch the ancient aliens or whatever, not ancient aliens, but what's it called on Netflix? With Graham Hancock. I'm looking it up now. I don't want to confuse anyone. Ancient Apocalypse. So Graham Hancock in his Ancient Apocalypse show, which you also watch, okay, he's a journalist and he just presents actual science. Okay, some of these guys in that area will put up some like speculation. He'll have his own speculation, but Hancock showed you the actual science. And in one of them, they are finding lots and lots of these towns and other structures in the Middle East, and particularly Turkey. Like they found an underground complex in Turkey, if I remember correctly. They're finding them in Indonesia, and I always talked about the pyramids and stuff from the lighter images in the Amazon that are going to force them to rewrite human history. Now, I don't think they're ever going to like we're the most advanced human civilization. Okay, there's no evidence. Like how do we know that? Well, to be a civilization like us, you need concrete. Okay, and it is the most pivotal substance to our civilization that there is. We couldn't have the buildings we have without concrete, the roads we have, the water systems we have without it, right? So any ancient civilization that was invented, we are is going to have invented concrete, and our concrete, some of it would still be there tens of thousands of years later, right? Now our concrete is as durable as Roman concrete because not all, some of it isn't. But the point I'm getting at is, if there were an ancient civilization that was advanced like us, it would have to be millions upon millions of years ago, so it would have been totally erased. No, but there were civilizations. I am convinced that before the prior ice ages, there were civilizations that may have been at least medieval level. Okay, in other words, definitely Stone Age, maybe into the Iron Age type of cultures, right? And they all got wiped out. Now, interestingly enough, 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano, which is the only supervolcano that has gone off in the human lifetime, went off. And it's estimated that it killed all but a couple of thousand of our ancestors. So we came that close to extinction. And we have been around, I want to say, as a species, a couple 100,000 years now. So there could have been like we could have had middle like Stone Age type peoples or more to the Middle Ages who've been just keep getting wiped out by circumstance, by Toba, by like the Younger Dryas 11,000 years ago, other impacts. But they've begun to find enough stuff that is that will I should say will that will lost my train of thought. That will force the archaeologists to get out of to pull their heads out their asses and to begin to revise the human story. So that's my prepared stuff. And what I usually do after that is just to make it a little lively, I'll take any questions from you guys, and I will just hit a few sites to try to get 3 to 5 random articles so the show isn't entirely scripted. So let's look for some random stuff over on Bounding in the Comics. So here we go. This is important. So in escalation of the anti-modding crusade, Capcom is now adding Enigma DRM to the PC catalog. So what's this about? So in a lot of heavily moddable games, fans have been basically modding away the woke stuff, modding away the message. There was a game that Az went off about, for example, that was kind of an okay game, but he basically got rid of it because they're forcing you to be woke at some point. And then they were banning mods that got rid of the woke stuff, and that sprayed to other games, and so. And the worst thing is that they're trying to add, like in Capcom's case, to their backlog to all their titles. So what I kind of see, happening here is a lot of people might start heavily investing in Japanese games just to get rid of the woke stuff. If there's no other. So this article, which I will save and add to, that's the issue here. It's going to be people who think we're winning with low ratings, we're not winning because of low ratings. The proof of winning is when they stop making this crap. Well, not when they stop taking our products that we enjoy and turning it into crap. Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, your comment about the pyramids in China, Salty, showed up in StreamYards, but not in the actual YouTube chat. Yeah. Oh yeah. That plus remember also the Taliban has been destroying in Afghanistan a lot of old stuff. I think Iran did that to a bunch of stuff too. you know, I will say this about the Egyptians. Uh, they at least, but yeah, but see, if they were trying, they must be auto censoring it, Salty, because I'm not even seeing the option to like unblock the comment or something like that. In any case, so I'll pay attention to the one in the StreamYard chat. What was I going to say? The Egyptians, at least, like when they were making that new dam, moved the ancient statues because they're trying to respect their ancestors. Um, Others aren't. It's horrible. Like I understand we have a religion or whatever, but we should still respect the people who came before us. Like for example, even the Christians did it in Europe when they converted Scandinavia. A lot of Catholic and churches literally burnt down ancient Norse temples and graveyards and built churches on top of them. You know. Yep. There you go. Yeah. Was it Iraq or Iran? Salty that the statue got blown up. Because even if it was Iraq, I thought they did it. I thought Iran did a bunch of that too. Let me reposition the window so I could see the StreamYard's chat. Okay. Okay. So what I will do is any article I find that's random at the end, I'll add to the chat so people can read it later. Let's see. Let's go to one more entertainment. Let's check out Dread Central. Yeah, nothing popping up on Dread Central is interesting. Let's try Dark Horizons. This movie, The Beekeeper. I mean, I like Jason Statham as an action hero, but The Beekeeper interests me. Not enough to talk about here, but that's. Let's go to Entertainment Weekly. Oh, I know I could show you guys. So last night on Roman's show, yeah. So to get slightly away from the topic, last night on Roman's show, we were talking about the movie The Black Hole, and we are talking about like trippy, and it had a very trippy ending. So I brought up a movie that not a lot of people know about, which they should, because it's like an Italian movie, kind of loosely based on the concept that Jesus might have been an alien. It's called The Visitor. So I'm going to show a few clips from it. Now I know about this stuff because my grandma, when I was a kid, she got me into all this sort of sci-fi and all that sort of stuff. And one of the things we would do, because there used to be Italian language movies, sci-fi and horror and fantasy, usually on like 2 a.m. on like, and she would keep me home from school to sit and watch the stuff with her, right? And this is one of the films. I'm not going to play the audio, but this That's John Barrymore, Drew Barrymore's grandpa. He did this film because he loved it. He basically plays Jesus. Not Jesus. He plays someone sent by Jesus, I should say. That's Jesus. So this is Jesus talking to someone. And this movie is really trippy. And it Zatine is Satan. And he explained how Satan lived. It's really, it has a great soundtrack. If you want to see a trippy sort of sci-fi religious movie, this is the one to watch. Okay, but anyway, back to the article. Sorry for the little derailment, guys. I want to show people that some clips from that movie. So back where we were. I'm going to type it out. Okay, so it's 3:51. We'll try to go to a little after 4, like our usual time spot, and we'll go to Giant Freaking Robot. Okay, nothing there. Let's check out Fandemonium. Let's go to a music site, Blabbermouth. Geek Tyrant. What else can we do here? Popculture.com. Yeah. Not a lot of news, I guess. Usually I can find Metal Injection. Oh my God. Oh my freaking God. Oh my freaking God. Oh God. Winter Sun is my favorite band. They're the greatest metal act, the greatest band of all time. They only have like 15 or 20 songs. Okay, it takes the guy Yari. It takes him like 5 to 6 years to put the album together. Okay, go listen to Winter Sun's Time, the live. Listen to them live, of course. Winter Sun Yari. It's his website. I'm going to do some links. Winter Sun. Sorry. So this is that. Why can't am I not a moderator for my own channel? Is that what? Oh, you know why? Because I'm on my. Oh, lordy. YouTube needs to get that crap together. Let's try this again. Why? I just promoted myself to a moderator. Oh, there we go. Third time's the charm. There we go. So why isn't it being a link? It should be a link you guys can click when I'm a moderator, right? Okay, so it's showing up. Okay, it's not showing up to me. It's showing up to you guys. I got it. Okay, so that's Winter Sun's. That's Winter Sun. Yeah, they're tied their channel, and this is my favorite Winter Sun song that I will now provide a link for. There we go. Anyway, so Time 2 is obviously a follow-up to the album called Time. If you're a fan of Nightwish, two of the members of Winter Sun, the drummer Kai, and the bass player are in Nightwish. So let's see what we got here. Winter Sun's finally completed work on the long-awaited follow-up to 2012's Time 1. Time 2 will be announced soon. Next week, a little more information about the album release plan. Stay tuned. They said, okay, good. Vocalist and guitarist Yari Mayapena. They're a Finnish band, by the way. Basically, so Juka is in Nightwish as the bass player now. Kai is Nightwish's drummer now. Timu is still in his other band. And Yari, let me find the band. If you're a metal fan, you'll know who this act is. But I want to make sure I get it right. So there's a band called Ensipherium, okay, which is another Finnish metal band. Yari is from Ensipherium, and Nightwish is technically his side project. Okay. But their songs are just amazing. Time, Loneliness, which speaks to mental illness in a way no other song does. Sons of Winter and Stars is the most epic song you'll ever hear, right? It's just great stuff. So there we go. I'm glad I had the show because my favorite band is coming out with a new album finally after 10 years, 12 years, something like that. So let's see if we can find any more good news out there. Well, let's go back to Metal Injection. Did we see anything else? Nope, unfortunately, nothing else. Let's try Verdanian. I don't care about the Witcher TV show, so how much I like Lawrence Fishburne, that show is dead to me. Screenrant. Nothing hopping out there. The Wrap. Apparently, even Pixar is having problems. Anyone have any questions? Winter is coming. Variety. Okay, so I think unless someone has any questions, it's 4:00. I'll talk about what I got upcoming. We had Salty here today. We had my usual. Conroy was here. Jacob was here. I know a couple people listen quietly, like they do. Apparently on Friday afternoon drive time radio. Dempsey's usually around. So you might be listening silently today. So what I got coming? Tomorrow night I'll be on Jacob Ironside. We're talking about the greatest westerns of all time, our favorite westerns of all time, which of course is the greatest, right? Next Tuesday we'll talk about Lawrence of Arabia. That'll be a long one. Be prepared with your bathroom ahead of time. Next Thursday I'll be on a Roman and the Empire show with open mic, not open mic, open topic where he has a bunch of topics we to talk about. Last night I was on Roman Empire show. We did the black hole. Last Saturday, Jacob and I talked about and Ante Mando talked about the the Light Horseman. What do I got coming up? I just dropped my Sharp season 2 episode 1 review yesterday. I will be dropping Yu Hakusho episode 5, Reacher episode 7 or 8, whatever up to, Monarch episode 10. What a waste of a show. Another episode of Sharp all over the next couple of days. Next week is Friday Fandemonium. Oh, one last thing. So I decided about a week ago to go over to Rumble and check my my sync, right? Just to see how the sync was going between my channel. And what turns out is that the Rumble sync wasn't working correctly. It's working very slowly, not grabbing everything. So I started to try to load up, to load my own videos manually instead of waiting on the auto sync. Now, as you see, I've earned 19 cents on Rumble. That's since the beginning last year when I started the auto sync, even before last year, right? Since I started doing the manual, making sure every video I have is loaded up there live, I've earned 4 cents. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but I have 10 followers or 12 followers over there. I'm a small-time YouTuber. You guys are a big channel, like Salty. You have a couple thousand. Pops, if you're out there. Make sure your stuff is live and current on Rumble, because when you get Rumble's paying. If they're paying a little guy me even like 19 cents, you guys who have way bigger followings, you can begin to make a little bank over there. And Rumble, and I don't even have a locals community set up where I can get a subscriber on locals. I'm probably going to do that. So I strongly advise everyone to get their Rumble stuff going properly. In any case, that's pretty much it. So like I said, tomorrow I'll have, over the next 3 days, you'll see Reacher review, Yu Hakusho review, Monarch review. The next Sharp probably like on Tuesday, I guess. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And otherwise, have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. If anyone wants to come on these shows, let me know. I can always do the co-host or two to talk about stuff. You hear my voice going out. Have a nice weekend. And if I could find the window, it's buried. The window is buried. Where is the window? My name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 73. I want you to have a great weekend and give me a share, give me a like. If you like it, give me a dislike. If you dislike, have questions, put them in the comments later on. I am out of here.